So, Chris, what do you like better, Robocop or Robocop 2?
Probably Robocop.
Oh, that's good, because Robocop 2 is a bad guy.
Welcome back to the Out of Touch podcast. I'm Chris, that's Bill, and today we're watching Robocop 2 from 1990. So, Bill, what did you think of Robocop 2?
I think it's got a lot of cool stuff, a lot of good ideas, but it's not structured in the best way it could be.
I guess you do have a point, but I kind of like this movie more than when I originally saw it.
Look, it's the second best Robocop movie.
Yeah.
Not that its competition is much, Robocop 3 and Robocop the remake.
I mean, arguably there's not like a straight up like terrible Robocop movie.
Some would say 3, but I don't hate it.
It's been a while since I've seen 3, but I don't know. This movie had more interesting things going on in it than I remember. Because, like, you know, the big things I always remember about this movie is just like, you know, just when you thought the Robocop world couldn't get more like dark and brutal, then you see like Robocop 2 and it's like things are even worse than the first movie.
I mean, the opening scene is just a parade of violence and thievery.
Yeah. It's just like one person getting robbed and the person that robs that person gets robbed and then
explosions.
Yeah. It's just another day. The crazy Detroit of the crazy Robocop future.
Or recent past, depending on when this movie is supposed to take place.
That's true. The time period doesn't matter. I mean, I guess like you could argue, well, it's technically the time period the movie was made, except in this timeline, people have like cybernetic technology.
Or it's like 2015.
It's weird though, because it's almost like the timeline where it's like, hey, you remember like trying to do better for the Earth? It's like, well, instead of like trying to do that, they just went full blown like, yeah, you know what, fuck nature. They're like, ozone layer's gone, there's like a nuclear power plant in the Amazon rainforest, which in some ways really wouldn't make that much more pollution technically unless it went into a meltdown.
Which I think it did.
The Amazon nuclear power facility has blown its stack, irradiating the world's largest rainforest.
Oh yeah, that's right, because they say the rainforest is nuclear now.
Yeah.
Oh man, mutated jaguar, man.
Oh no.
Man, Robocop 4, that's what it would have been about.
Maybe.
I don't know. But yeah, you know, there's a lot of things about this movie that I like a lot more every time I see it. You know, I guess like the quick version of the plot is OCP is up to nefarious deeds as usual.
They're trying to basically bankrupt the city of Detroit so they can just take control of it, level it, and build Delta City.
Yeah.
While also building a new, better Robocop. Robocop 2. The titular character.
I think that's the most interesting part about the movie is them trying to make another Robocop. Because, you know, they keep talking in the movie like about how like, you know, well, we did it once with like Murphy and, you know, for some reason it worked with Murphy, but like nobody can figure out why it worked with Murphy, and all these other Robocops they make keep trying to like murder themselves. In fact, pretty horrifying. Like the one like rips off his like head and he has like this like skull underneath it.
Just screams in horror and then dies. And then there's the other one that just goes insane and starts shooting everybody.
Yeah, and then shoots himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty creepy, like stop motion, like robot puppets that actually look really good in this movie. Like all that stuff is great, including like, you know, Robocop 2, who is horrifying and has like a weird screen face. But I guess we'll get more into it. But I think like one of the most interesting things about this movie on rewatch is how like all the people at OCP can't figure out why Robocop works. And they keep trying to like make him say like, oh, you're not Alex Murphy, you're a machine, Alex Murphy's dead.
And they basically gaslight him into just telling Murphy's wife that I'm not Murphy, he's dead,
Yeah.
Fuck off.
I have his face to honor him or whatever they say.
Because they basically like, what are you gonna do? You gonna be a husband? Fuck you. You're an idiot. Moron. Loser. You suck.
These 80s businessmen.
And then like, there's an interesting scene with the wife. It's actually a pretty good scene. And then she leaves the movie and then we never go back to that.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe they should have.
Yeah, because I almost feel like the whole point of the movie is like, the one thing they're not realizing is the reason why Murphy works as Robocop is he never lost the sense of self he had.
Because he gained back his humanity in the first movie.
Yeah.
And he's like trying to fight to keep it.
Yeah. And that's why he works, because it's like, you know, he's not just a machine.
Yeah.
He is still like a human in there. But like they can't, you know, see that. I mean, you know, they hire the psychologist that's supposed to be like a people expert or whatever.
But she's kind of an idiot.
She is an idiot.
Complete idiot.
You know.
You know what? You know what's... Forget all these well-adjusted moral people. Give me some murderers and psychotic killers.
Yeah. It's kind of amazing.
Like, what did you think was going to happen?
It's like, yeah, I guess like before we get into that, but like, you know, the city's being overrun by a new drug called nuke.
Which is...
We don't really know exactly what it's supposed to like analog.
It's just a drug. It
Yeah.
can be any drug.
Yeah, there's a lot of
They're
drugs.
kind of injecting. Maybe it's a heroin.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be. It's a future drug. Why comes these little things and you go? Tss.
Yeah, it's like little Kool-Aid packs or whatever. I don't know.
But it's mostly seems to come from the one group led by this. They literally call him a cult leader, a guy named Kane.
Yeah, who is over the top and kind of weird for a drug dealer, because it's just like, I always thought if you're going to be a drug dealer, you're not supposed to take the drugs yourself.
He wasn't at that meeting.
Well, I mean, he skipped a lot of meetings because, like, you know, his gang is a lot of, like, you know, usual suspects of, like, psychopaths. But then there's, like, this little kid that is, like, his, like, number 3 man or number 2 man. It's like, what's that child doing there? Why is a child selling drugs? Is it the tie-in with the Happy Meal toys? Each
Yes.
purchase of a cheeseburger, you get a pack of nuke. McDonald's commercial where the kids are just like, I'm doing the blue nuke that makes me feel like this. I don't know.
Or to tie into the Saturday morning cartoon.
That's true. That cartoon was cool. Well, there was a couple cartoons, but the one where he like locked himself in the motorcycle was cool.
I only saw one of them. I know there's 2.
Yeah.
But I don't know which one I saw.
I'm pretty sure the one I'm talking about is the later one. I remember it being really cool. But yeah, just in general, yeah, we got these drug dealers. They're, I don't know, taking over the city. They're selling nuke. They've indoctrinated children.
I mean, the city is just in complete chaos. Little league teams are robbing places and shit. It's madness.
Yeah, we have another Foot Clan arcade / crime lair.
A little more public, because I think it is just a public arcade that they just operate out of.
Yeah. Got all those old school Data East games and whatever. I'm like, whoa.
What is with like the late 80s to mid 90s with villainous arcades?
I don't know, man.
So weird.
I guess maybe it was like propaganda to like show like the public, you see, like video games are evil. It's where all the scum and villainy hang out.
Don't you go to the arcade after school, Johnny.
Yeah.
You'll get indoctrinated into one of them ninja clans. That sounds awesome, Mom.
That does sound awesome. I get to play video games and be a ninja? But yeah, you know, at the beginning of the movie too, you know, we get to see Robocop shoot a lot of people. But man, it's like that one kid though shoots him like right in the face at the opening of the movie.
Because he can't shoot a kid.
Yeah.
But what he can do is shoot another guy in the head who's threatening a baby.
Yeah, what the hell? We got like crazy people threatening babies in this movie.
And Robocop shoots that motherfucker right in the head. It's great.
It is great.
Does that little like ricochet shot. Because it's like, this guy's got to die. He's threatening a baby.
That is so over the
Because
top.
one of his prime directives, protect the innocent.
Yeah,
Doesn't get more innocent than a baby.
that's true.
Robocop will kill motherfuckers to save a baby.
And I guess at least at the beginning of the movie, he still has that like prime directive number 4 where he can't do anything about like the OCP guys. still.
I guess. Doesn't come up in this one, though.
No, it doesn't.
Instead, later in the movie, crazy evil psychiatrist lady pumps like hundreds of new directives into him after he falls into a trap.
Yeah.
Man, they mess RoboCop up bad.
It is pretty hilarious, like the awkward comedy in the movie with RoboCop.
This isn't very nice. Waste makes haste, for time is fleeting. Thank you for not smoking.
But I really like that part, which it leads up to like he more or less like he has all these directives. He has to like do the directives, you know. They're telling him like don't be so violent and stuff, and you know, he's acting like silly and everything, but it's kind of like he still has his like sense of self. And when he hears like the other scientists, I guess we'll say the good scientists that normally work on him, say like the only way to get rid of the directives is we'd either need a special machine at OCP or we would need like a bunch of like high voltage in
like
order
thousands
to,
of volts of electricity.
Yeah.
He just goes to the power grid and electrocutes himself.
Yeah, Frank Grimes style.
Yeah, and I think he erases all the directives.
He does. He becomes like more of himself after that.
And you know, that's a good story. It's like a 10-minute vignette in this movie.
Yeah.
That's the problem with this movie, I feel. Like there's good stuff in it, but it's all structured wrong.
Yeah.
And I don't know how much of it is because the script was rushed. How much of it is one of the writers was Frank Miller, and he's not experienced in film at this point.
Yeah.
He's a comic book writer. So having a 10-minute story is like equivalent to an issue of a comic. That would have been a great issue of the monthly RoboCop comic book series, that begins with that and ends with him electrocuting himself, and he's like, "Ooh, I'm back to myself," like because it's the beginning, middle, and end, and then the movie just keeps going, and then he fights that Kane guy and kills him, more or less, and then the movie goes for another hour after that.
Yeah.
And the crazy part is, after that, RoboCop's gone for like 20 minutes.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, as the origin of RoboCop 2 happens. Which I'm like, okay, I get you wanted Kane to do the whole he destroys RoboCop thing, and that's a good dark moment in the movie.
Yeah.
But it feels like you have conflicting ideas, because then you do the whole putting the new directives into him, but you need him to overcome Kane so Kane can become RoboCop 2, but then you end the RoboCop program story halfway through the movie after only like 10 minutes. And then RoboCop's got nothing to do but wait for Kane to become RoboCop 2 so they can fight.
Yeah.
He literally sits out the rest of the movie until he shows up at the crime scene of RoboCop 2's massacre.
Yeah.
That movie needed the more of the wife for some heart as RoboCop struggles with the programming, and maybe she helps him a little bit, and then have the moment where he clicks, is like, I can break free, but I need to do this. Ah! But that needed to happen after Kane became RoboCop 2. And so then he becomes himself again, finds what happened, and then goes to confront Kane, and they have their fight. Instead, it's all wrong. It's all backwards. It's all over the place.
Yeah, a little bit. I don't have as much of a problem. Like, there are definitely ways to, like, make the movie better.
Because it's just, like, none of the things are done badly, I feel. Like, the origin of RoboCop 2 is all dark and kind of twisted and messed up.
Yeah.
It's just, the structure feels weird. It feels directionless because just nothing feels like it happens in the right place. And it's uneven.
It is. I mean, it almost seems like, since, like, the movie at the beginning of it is so, like, focused on, like, the aspect of, like, the reason why RoboCop works is because he's, like, still, like, a human, and, like, that's what OCP is not seeing. You would think once he got rid of those directives, maybe they would have another scene where he does go see his wife, like, to just be like, I am Alex Murphy, but, like, I'm different now. But I guess you can't really have that for him, being RoboCop still.
Why not?
Yeah, I don't know, but, like, Like, or at least
And
have
you-
some interaction with the wife being like...
Yeah, because it's like, it's missing that, like, a moment, because he's just barely in the back half of the movie, except for action stuff. And he's got the one scene with the kid when the kid dies.
Yeah.
But, I don't know, I'm just thinking of how in, like, the first movie, there's that kind of, like, lull moment before, like, the big final fight, where Robocop is, like, taking off the helmet and he's talking with Lewis about, like, everything and shit. Like, you just need that, like, moment to remind us that he is still human to a degree.
Yeah.
Even if he is mostly machine.
Yeah, he doesn't really have too many, like, flashbacks to his life either in the movie. Like, you know, we get, like, a few at the beginning with, like, the one with his, like, son when he sees the kid, but it's kind of like it for the most part.
We didn't need too many of that. That was great for the first movie. I think that scene with the wife set up something interesting that they should have followed through on.
Yeah, it almost does seem like, too, since, like, there's the parallel of, like, the kid drug dealer and then him seeing his son. There almost seemed like there was like a plot with him, like, seeing his son in the movie at one point.
I don't know why.
The more you explained to me your problems with the movie, the more I see him.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm like, yeah, I guess you're right. It is kind of a little uneven. I still like it, though.
I don't know. I still mostly enjoy it. Like, the whole RoboCop getting reprogrammed by committee.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
I just wish it was done better. Like, if you take that piece out of the movie, it's like, look at this hilarious RoboCop short film we made, where they try to micromanage RoboCop and it goes bad.
Yeah, look how silly it is telling people to have a great day.
Yeah, like that's fun. It's entertaining. It's just, it comes and it goes so quickly.
Yeah.
It's like it's over and done with, and then there's 15 minutes left of the movie.
Yeah, pretty much.
RoboCop's character arc is complete. He fought back for his humanity again, as like OCP tried to push their thumb on him more, because that's part of the story. Like early on when they're like, "Fuck you, you're not human. Screw you."
Yeah, your
Shut
property.
Up, shut up, obey. And then the programming is like a more literal version of that, and him overcoming that. That's good. That's good stuff. It's just, it happened so quickly.
Yeah.
He needed to do that just a little later.
Yeah.
Like I said, there's good stuff in here. If they had more time to work on the script, as I think they were rushed, then maybe we could have gotten a more like structured, better version of this story, which I think this movie would probably be more well regarded.
Yeah, it's strange too that they would be rushed since this movie came out in 1990 and like the original RoboCop was like 1986, 1987.
See, I heard something that there was like a writer's strike that might have affected it, but that writer's strike was in 1988.
Okay.
So unless they were in a hurry to finish a script to get the movie into production for an I don't know. I know I was reading a little bit. There was like a version of a script by the original writers of the first movie,
Okay.
which honestly sounds more like something they would do today, where RoboCop is reawakened after being dormant for like 25 years or something.
Okay.
There's like RoboCop: The Corporate Wars, and I'm like, is there a finished version of that script anywhere?
Yeah, that sounds cool.
Can we just make that?
Yeah.
Get that out, blow off the dust, just make that?
Yeah, that would be cool. Yeah, you know, we see more of the English CEO of OCP in this movie.
Yeah, and he goes from just random whatever aloof corporate executive to, oh no, he's the overarching big bad of the RoboCop series now.
He's the most evil of them all.
Yeah, and he never gets his comeuppance.
He doesn't.
Because in RoboCop 3, he's gone. OCP got bought by a Japanese company.
Yeah.
And they just kind of have a line where it's like, you don't want to the old man happen to you. It's like, what the fuck happened to the old man?
He was chopped in half with a samurai sword.
I mean, there's robot samurais in that movie, so I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. We don't get to see it, though. But yeah, he is really evil in this movie. I mean, he's like...
he's a great overarching villain for this.
He's great. You know, he's banging the one psychologist, of course.
Yeah,
and then,
she's sleeping her way to the top.
Yeah, and then she's so dumb. Like, nobody... Like, the whole thing with Kane and being like, okay, like the thing they come to is like, oh, the reason why Murphy worked as RoboCop is because he was like, he had like a sense of duty, and this drug dealer has a sense of duty to like sell drugs or whatever.
The desire for power and to live and whatever.
Yeah.
Just no, you're in. What are you, an idiot? I'm not a psychiatrist. Even I know. Bad guy brain bad.
Yeah, not only that, but like he's like still addicted to like drugs, and they're like, we can use that to our advantage because he'll have to listen to us, else he won't get his drugs. It's just like, this is not gonna work out well.
I do like the stuff, and it kind of bleeds into the stuff with Kane, the thread with the mayor getting like increasingly desperate to save the city. He has like a telethon and it's doing badly.
That is pretty funny. Yeah, I mean, it's so bad that he's like willing to make a deal with like the drug dealers. The little kid is like in charge because reasons.
He was the smartest one in the room, I guess.
He's the only one not addicted to drugs.
Evidently. And none of them seem to be willing to just beat up the kid and take the drugs.
Yeah.
Unless he's like, I'm the only one that knows how to make it. I don't know. It's so weird.
It is weird.
It's a twistedly kind of funny wrinkle to this movie it's not as humorous as the first one, but it's got its moments.
Yeah. It's interesting because, like, you know, the city owes OCP $37 million. And then, like, the kid's like, I'll give you 50. And, like, the mayor's just like, okay.
50's good?
Yeah.
50's real good. I'll take it. Then they send Robocop 2 to kill them all.
Yeah. And that's the one thing that's really disturbing about Robocop 2 is, like, when they show him becoming Robocop 2, he's literally just a brain and, like, eyes.
And a spinal column.
Yeah, yeah. And it's just like, Jesus Christ, like, why did they... It's like, if he's that much of a machine, like, I guess they still need, like, the organic component to somehow control the machine. It's almost like, why don't they just go, like, full machine?
We saw what happened with that, with Ed 209.
That's true.
I don't know if you remember from one of the commercials, those things still aren't working so good.
I mean, to be fair, though, they're, like, designed, like, so stupid, though.
They're military weaponry. They have no business being in a city.
It's true.
They should be, like, I don't know, shooting terrorists or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's not, let's see, 1990. It's almost the Gulf War. They should be fighting the Gulf War.
Pretty much. Who knows what the rest of the world is like in the Robocop future, or what countries are even around or fighting each other.
I mean, they're all on fire. I don't know.
Everywhere's on fire.
This is a world with malfunctioning robots that just go on massacres every 6 months or so.
It's true. But, yeah, Robocop 2, he's addicted to drugs. He's got, like, way too much firepower for, like, what he's supposed to, like, do.
I can't believe they loaded his weapons for a demonstration. I mean, they didn't activate them, but all he had to do was grab that remote, push a button, and then crush the remote, and then it was just...
Yeah.
Madness.
You know, we got the president or CEO of OCP holding, like, the drugs, like, we're gonna stop nuking this city, and then Robocop 2 sees it, and he's just like, I need it.
Mine!
It's so hilarious that he has, like, a separate little, like, claw to, like, grab the drugs and inject it, I guess, into his, like, brain liquid.
I do kind of love the touch where it's like, gimme.
The face is so creepy.
It's that weird early 90s CGI.
Yeah. He can't even, like, talk either. He just, like, makes noises.
Yeah.
Like, weird, creepy electronic noises. But... yeah, you know, it just kind of goes into, like, a big fight between Robocop and Robocop 2.
Which ranges from, that looks pretty cool, to, is that just an action figure on top of Robocop 2? Because
yeah,
the stop motion, I think, on the Kane Robocop 2 thing looks okay, but the little stop motion Robocop, I'm not going to lie, it just looks like this.
Yeah. I think the scene where he climbs up the elevator shaft is pretty good. Because it's like,
cool.
It's not even like he climbs it slow, it's just like... he all of a sudden just, like, is, like, climbing, like, hauling ass up it. And it's like, holy shit.
There's a funny moment when they were fighting when Kane just starts, like, smashing Robocop around like a freaking rag doll.
Yeah. I mean, Robocop is pretty damn adorable. You know, unless you, like, eventually take him apart with a jackhammer and send the pieces back to the police.
Yeah. Turns out Robocop's magnetic. Who knew?
I mean, he's made out of metal.
Not all metal's magnetic.
That's true.
You think if you were making an urban combat police officer robot, you'd make sure he wasn't magnetic.
True.
Because then something like that could happen.
Yeah. Plus, like, you know, all his electrical components could, like, get messed up because of, you know,
Yeah.
like magnetic fields and whatnot.
I mean, good on them for making sure he couldn't shoot a kid.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good programming. That's the best.
That was Ed 209's problem. He just shot everybody.
I mean, hopefully, maybe Ed 209 couldn't shoot a kid.
I mean,
We don't know.
there's a lot of collateral damage probably when Ed 209 is involved in something.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason why they didn't let him in. Well, actually, they were starting to use Ed 209s in cities in this movie, apparently.
Yeah, and then he just like fell in like one of his legs fell in the sewer.
Just made that weird shrieking noise.
Yeah. So weird. But
I got to give some compliments. I don't know who did it, but when RoboCop is like a torso, and it's just like there's moments when it's definitely Peter Weller, but then there's moments where like, oh, that's just a puppet, but that's a good looking puppet.
yeah, I was gonna say like a lot of that animatronics and puppetry in this movie is really good.
Yeah, like that's the standout one to me because like you couldn't almost not tell the difference.
Yeah.
It's just.
I think when he had like the weird like white eyes, that's when like you're like, okay, I think that's the puppet.
Yeah, and even then, that could just be Peter Weller rolling his eyes back.
Yeah.
We don't know. Like I said, and the fact that the artificialness, it works because it's RoboCop.
Yeah.
Yeah, it blended well. It was good. It was a good effect.
Yeah, it's weird too because like, you know, for the most part, like almost all of his like human components are mostly gone. I think he's just like
He's probably not too different from the one from the remake where it's just like a head and some a sack of organs.
yeah.
Because we know he has to eat something.
Yeah.
So there's some kind of stomach, I guess.
Yeah, he's got like I guess he would have to like
spinal
have
column.
a stomach, his like spinal column, and you know
That's
Maybe.
maybe about it.
maybe he has some other like internal organs just because like to make the brain work. He probably has like lungs to a certain point.
We know one of his arms survived, but they cut it off.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, man, RoboCop. It's like horrifying,
Yeah.
but he still looks cool in the movie.
I prefer the silver tint to the bluish tint in this one.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not too bad, but I definitely prefer the silver tint. I think it looks better.
yeah. I'm kind of surprised when he got like completely like messed up. They didn't. But then again, like you know, OCP had no interest in like continuing RoboCop. But like you think like you know he would have got like an upgrade or something. But
Well,
if
to be-
anything, he got like a downgrade.
I mean, jokes aside, that's something that they would only really do in a movie where like, oh, we got to make toys. So that's why in the next movie it's gun arm, jetpack,
Yeah,
crap
that's
like that.
true. Yeah.
This movie, no, we're still an R-rated movie. We're not making this for children, even though we're cross-promoting it with WCW and Capital Combat, the return of RoboCop,
Yeah.
where RoboCop shows up to help Sting.
Sting has been caged by the Horseman, but here comes RoboCop, Bob. Sting and RoboCop have asserted themselves here.
It's so weird. Why did that happen?
I don't know. They offered WCW money and they said, yes, please.
Yeah, I guess they needed it.
I guess.
I mean, RoboCop's pretty cool to be out there. Yeah, him wrestling though.
I mean, he couldn't wrestle. He ripped the door off of a cage and that was it.
And then he shot a person.
He shot Ric Flair.
He did.
Ric Flair just said, woo, and the bullet flew out.
That's what happened.
So weird.
It's weird.
I don't understand why that happened.
It's,
It's only happened a handful of times, but fictional characters showing up in pro wrestling has always been weird and stupid.
man.
It's like RoboCop, Chucky, the Muppets, the Three Stooges, and Shaft.
Wow. I didn't know about Shaft.
Yeah, the Sam Jackson movie version. It's just in an episode of Raw or SmackDown or something, or it's just there.
Man.
I think it was it Hardcore Holly running around with the 24-hour rule for the hardcore belt, and then just came running to Shaft. You gotta help me.
So weird.
I know. I only found out about that one recently.
That's so odd.
Yeah.
Man, more fictional characters should be in wrestling. Be hilarious.
Which wrestling company does RoboCop go back to? Well, I guess he'd go to AEW because that's where his buddy Sting is.
Yeah, that's true. They have history there.
Yeah.
So
They're friends.
yeah, they are friends. So weird. But yeah, overall, I don't know. RoboCop 2 is a little uneven, like you said. I still like it. I think it has a lot of good ideas in it.
There's good stuff, like I said. It's cool action in places. It's like I said, it's the second best RoboCop movie
Yeah,
by far. Maybe that'll change. Amazon's got plans, maybe.
they do got plans.
I mean, unless they make a TV show, then this will still be the second best RoboCop movie.
True. I guess like the ending of the movie too, where like, the CEO is just like, oh, what are we gonna do? We're ruined. And then the one guy's just like, oh, we need like a fall person. And they're like, blame it all on the psychologist.
I mean, a lot of it's our freaking fault.
It is. But like, it's like even more messed up because he's so evil that at the end of the movie, he's going to his limo with the psychologist. He steps over like this lady dying in the street. Like as the press is like filming him, and he just like goes to the limo and drives away.
And he's still being like nice to the psychiatrist lady while planning her downfall.
Yeah.
He's got that. It's a great line. It's so messed up when he's talking to Johnson, where he's just like,
This could look bad for OCP, Johnson. Scramble the best spin team we have.
Yeah. He's got a lot of fun scenes where he's just in that like hot tub in that one scene for some reason.
I mean, that was just to establish that he was banging the girl.
Yeah.
That she was sleeping to get her way, I guess.
Yeah. He's a pretty good villain. It is a shame that we never get to see like RoboCop actually like confront him.
Yeah. That's something that was lacking in RoboCop 3, because RoboCop 3 does kind of have him kind of getting one over on OCP in the end, but without the old man there, it's not as satisfying.
Yeah.
He should have gotten a horrifically violent R-rated death.
Yeah. Just shot a bunch of times.
Yes. Killed by whatever horrific machine that they created this time.
Yeah.
Oh man, could you imagine like just whatever maniacal thing just like picks him up and then just rips him in half.
Oh man.
And just throws him to the ground. Then he's like, please, RoboCop, help me. My name's Murphy.
Yeah, it's just like one of those things where he's just like, we own you. You have to listen to us. And then he just like, it's like, no, have a nice day. And then like he just like falls to his death.
What
or
about your
something.
prime directives? If you're talking about protect the innocent, I'm afraid you do not qualify.
Yeah. But yeah, this movie.
It's still got Peter Weller's RoboCop.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
He's great.
He's great as RoboCop. He's the best RoboCop. There's only a couple other RoboCops, and he's the best one.
Yeah, definitely. I know there's like a RoboCop from like a TV show.
Yeah, there's the TV show RoboCop. There's whoever played him in RoboCop 3, and there's the Prime Directives miniseries, and then there's the remake.
Right.
There's 4 other RoboCops. How did that happen?
I don't know. RoboCop's iconic.
I guess.
He looks awesome.
He does.
Until like they made him not look awesome.
Yeah.
Like the remake where they're just like, paint him all black. It's like, that's dumb. Why did you do that?
Why did they do that?
I don't know. I don't remember that movie that well anyway.
Did you catch Frank Miller's cameo?
I think I did, yeah.
He's in the drug lab, and his name is Frank.
Okay. Yeah.
I was like, wait, is that Frank? Yeah, it's Frank Miller. And then he gets blown up.
It's pretty fun. I mean, this was, Frank Miller at the peak of his powers,
Yeah, it's, post Dark Knight Returns and Daredevil Run and all that stuff.
Yeah.
It was right before his writing turned crazy.
Yeah.
Or as his writing turned crazy.
I don't know. I want to say like after 2001, that's where his writing became crazy.
It was a slow burn to it. And then The Dark Knight Strikes Again was like the grand unveilment of like, what the hell happened?
I don't know about that. Yeah, I don't
I
know
guess maybe it was All-Star Batman and Robin who really cemented the, whoa, Frank Miller's crazy.
about Holy Terror.
Yeah, he was long established as crazy but with his writing by then, because All-Star
guess
Batman and Robin came first.
Oh, it did. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Pretty sure it came first.
I guess that I don't know why I thought All Star Batman and Robin was like 2006.
I feel like Holy Terror came after that.
Okay.
That was gestating for a while, though.
Okay.
'Cause it was supposed to be a Batman story.
Yeah.
And
And,
then-
DC was actually like, no.
Please, no.
Yeah. Not this.
Anything but this.
I don't know. All Star Batman and Robin is unintentionally hilarious, but you gotta love the "I'm the goddamn Batman" line. Maybe one day we should talk about All Star Batman and Robin.
I'd have to reread it. The unfinished story of All-Star Batman and Robin.
Yeah.
It's not finished. It'll
not.
never will be.
It never will be. But anyway,
Robocop.
Robocop 2 is pretty good. If you haven't seen it, go watch it.
Second best Robocop movie.
And I guess that's the Out of Touch podcast for this week.
Dead or Alive.
Think it over, Creed. Good morning.